So I learned about the 5 why method when I was working with this Global 500 company, their C-level executives, and we had a consultant come in, and he started talking about how they were treating a lot of symptoms of the problem. They were just problems of the problem, but they weren't actually treating the root cause of the problem, and that's why they weren't getting anywhere. And that was something that always stuck with me. And this secret method that they ended up using that was so genius. I'm going to walk you through that right now. And I'm actually going to give you an example of how it heavily impacted me in the way that I thought about things. And it has changed the way that I spend money, the way that I spend my time, the way that I think about things. Because a lot of us struggle with this. We think that we recognize problems that are in our life, and a lot of times we put time and energy into fixing them, sometimes even money into fixing them, but the problems continue to pop up and we just continue to attack them as they go. Well, if we took some of that time, energy, money, and we directed it towards the root cause of the problem, if we actually took some time to take a break and say, is this the problem, or is this just a symptom of a bigger issue that's going on? We could actually probably get rid of a whole bunch of other problems by just getting rid of one. So let me explain a little bit about how this works. So the 5 why method, and I'm not talking about the letter Y, I'm talking about the word why, is basically just as simple as it sounds. We're going to ask the question why 5 times. So a couple months ago, I quit my job. I decided I wanted to go full time with what I was with, what I'm doing now, building a financial media company. And I just was so busy. There were so many things that needed to be done. There was a lot of different, elements of entrepreneurialism, getting the business set up, all these other things that I just, it's just me and I had to do them. But I didn't have enough time, even though I should have had enough time. Like I was scheduling the day out, but for some reason I just wasn't getting it done, and I didn't know why. So I took just a breakfast off, basically went somewhere, and I just sat down and I asked myself the 5 whys. So I sat down and I said, okay, what is my problem? So this is what you do. You start off and you go, what's the problem that you're facing right now, as far as you can see it? So my problem was I didn't have enough time in my day to get the work done. And I said, okay, why do you not have enough time to get all of your work done during the workday, even though, it's scheduled and you should? And so then I looked at it and I said, well, if I'm being completely honest about it, I'm spending a little too much time on social media. Oh, okay. Well, why are you spending too much time on social media? Well, I mean, I'm spending a lot of time on social media because social media is actually important to what, I'm doing for work. So, I'm just trying to get there and understand it. Okay. So why are you spending so much time on social media to try to understand it? Well, I'm spending so much money or time on there because I want to, understand what it is that people are really looking for in the business. So it's taking up a lot more time than I thought it would. Oh, okay. So why is it taking up a lot more time than you thought it would? Well, I guess because even though I'm on social media learning about it, part of that is, taking in content, learning what other people are doing. And I guess I'm actually spending too much time, excuse me, looking at a lot of other people's content instead of just truly studying it. I guess part of it does become entertainment and beyond research. And the line of that is very muddled. Oh, okay. So why do you continue to do that? Why is that line muddled in between those, entertainment and research on social media? Well, the reason that it's muddled is because I don't really have a set period of time for the research. I just know that, hey, I have to be on there looking and consuming and figuring out what works and what doesn't and how the different platforms work and all that. So yeah, I guess it's the fact that it's just kind of a free for all, and I don't have anything really defined or set up. So there it is. I've asked all of these subsequent whys, and I don't remember if I just asked 4 or 5 of them. But the point is, as long as you continue to ask why, you get further and further down into the deeper part of the issue. So for me, the problem wasn't that I didn't have enough time in the day or that I wasn't scheduling properly, or that I was just busy with so many things. The problem was actually something that I needed to be doing. I wasn't doing it well. I wasn't organized with it. When I got down to the root issue, I finally figured out, okay, I schedule everything else, but I don't schedule researching, content, what people are looking for, how algorithms work. That's just something I knew I needed to do. And when I was on these platforms, inevitably ended up happening. So by asking this question, I realized something really important. I need to schedule time that I'm going to be researching these things. And then once I did that, it solved so many of my other issues. All of a sudden, I was finishing my other projects on time. I, had time during the day. I wasn't becoming distracted by, just kind of, getting on social media and, going for entertainment purposes as much as the research side, because I knew, hey, I only have 30 minutes to do this. I set it up on my calendar, boom, 30 minutes. I'm only on there for research, set a timer at the end of the 30 minutes, bam, I'm out, I'm done. So it created this urgency and this purpose during that time block versus just randomly me just being on here going, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's cool. I guess I can see that. Oh, funny cat video. So that's what the 5 why method could do. And listen, you can do this with literally anything in your life. Ask the problem, why don't I have enough money at the end of the month? That one's really impactful. Why am I unhappy in my relationship? That's another one that can be very impactful and can really get down there. So the whole point, like I said, is all along the way, we're talking about different problems. But by the time you get to the 5th degree of whatever you think the top level of the problem is, you're normally getting down to something that's a lot more deep, a lot more intense. And like I said, it's a root cause, because at any point of the time, as I was going through that process with the 5 whys, if I would have stopped at like 2 or 3, I still would have just been addressing a symptom of the main problem. The solution, the thing that fixed it all, was actually relatively simple. I just needed to schedule a block of time to be purposeful for when I was getting on social media to do research. That's all it took. It fixed all the other issues. But if I would have stopped at like 2 or 3, I wouldn't have necessarily dealt with that, and I still would have, had the issue. It's kind of like weeding. If you've ever, I hate weeding personally. It's one of my least favorite chores. Like, make me do anything else. I'll pressure wash, I'll mow the lawn, I'll load the dishwasher. I hate weeding. So but one thing about weeding that really sucks is that if you try to pull a weed out of the ground and you don't get the roots and you just get like the bottom part of the stem, well, you may not see the weed anymore because it's not sprouting up above the grass. But the problem is the root's still there. It's going to grow back in like I live in Florida. So, I mean, the weed's going to grow back in like 2 to 3 days max. It's going to be right back to where it was with all the rain and sunshine we get. So that's the problem. You have to dig in. You have to go all the way down, grab it at the base layer, get your hands even in the dirt a little bit, and make sure you're ripping up the roots of that weed. That's why it's the root cause. When you do that and you are tackling the root causes of issues, you will find that you will solve problems a lot faster. You'll be much more effective at solving those problems. And you'll also notice really just incredible change in whatever it is you're trying to accomplish in your life. So use the 5 why method. I highly recommend it. Like I said, this is something that they use at the highest levels of business, with CEOs of Fortune 500 companies that have global issues. And it is just something as simple as going, what's your problem? Okay, why is that? Okay, why is that? Why is that? Hey, one more time, why is that? No. For the 5th and final time, why is that? And by the time you get to the 5th degree of what you think the problem is, 99% of the time you're going to hit the root cause. So hopefully that helps and will help provide you some clarity, whether it's in your finances, whether it's something that you're dealing with relationally. This stuff all works together. I mean, I did this exercise with somebody, and she was talking about how she had a shopping problem, and that's why she didn't have a lot of money. And really, that didn't end up being the case. By the time we got down to the 5th why, she realized she didn't have a shopping problem. That's not why she was spending. It was why she was spending, or I'm sorry, it was, a symptom of why she was spending all the money. But when we really got down to the root cause of it, there was actually some emotional insecurity that was really driving her reckless spending habits. It didn't actually have anything to do with just wanting to look nice and, get some of the newest clothes. It had to do with some emotional instability that she realized, wow, I need to deal with that. I didn't realize that I went on a shopping splurge every time somebody was making me feel this way. And I just did it to make myself feel better. So again, if she would have just been like, oh, I just need to stop spending, I'll remove my credit card off the website so it's harder to buy things, different things like that, that probably wouldn't have solved anything. It may have, hampered it a little bit, but at the end of the day, the next time she got really emotionally insecure on it, without recognizing and dealing with that, she would have just continued to spend the money. So there's something like that that we're all doing. We're all driven by certain types of emotional and behavioral impulses. And a lot of times when you do these exercises, you'll start with something a little more material, and then you'll get down to something and you'll end up with something a little bit more behavioral or emotional. So hopefully this helps. And until our paths cross again.